Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ankerstar Wealth Market Update. I'm your host, Allison Ankerstar. Today we'll be talking about today's jobs number, Walgreens' use of robots to fill prescriptions, and the next COVID booster shot. But before we begin, as a reminder, this financial education presentation should not be construed as personal financial advice. Full disclaimer information is available at ankerstarwealth.com. Good morning, Steve. Private payrolls grew up by 455,000 in March, dropping the employment rate to 3.7%. Does the employment rate squash recession fears?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Allison. Obviously, we're having some tech issues this morning. We'll work on that for tomorrow. That's a great question. So all you hear in the mainstream media is about the inverted yield curve and recession signals and all, woe is me, the world is ending, all of that really. But when you sit back and look at employment, can we really have a recession if unemployment's, at historic lows, right? And we can't find people to work at restaurants and things. And we have the great resignation going on where people are leaving lower paid jobs in search of higher paid jobs because obviously they need to make more money to be able to afford goods and services since prices are going up on everything. So, the issue is I do think that this 455,000 jobs in March, as you can see the headline there, that's kind of hard to process. And, there's a lot, buried in these numbers, but really the one I hang my hat on is unemployment, So 3.7% here is down at the bottom. That's really historically low while inflation kind of rages higher. So overall, I think the jobs report is a great sign. I think that as more people, maneuver and there's wage inflation that goes with this, employers are going to have to pay people more, or they're going to have to face the fact that people are going to walk and move to higher paying jobs. So overall, I think that's why you see the market continuing to scream higher like it has for the past week and a half, 2 weeks, because the recession is not on the table when you have everybody out there working. So in summary, I like the jobs number. I think it adds a lot of confidence to the stock market.
Next, Walgreens is opening robot-powered micro-fulfillment centers across the U.S. to modernize the pharmacy industry. Will this help WBA stock?
Well, I think that, modernizing the pharmacy industry is certainly in need of modernization. So that's kind of a dumb comment on my part, but I'm saying that the healthcare industry is ripe for improvement, if you will. I think a lot of times you show up, you fill out forms from, 1985, or you have you have to circle and verify everything every single time. And I'm not so sure that there can't be a database information out there that tells the person that you just saw last Tuesday that nothing has changed, and you don't have to verify all that stuff every single time. Now, so that's the healthcare industry writ large. But specific to pharmacies, still, when you go in, it's pretty slick. We have the drive-through pharmacies, so it's pretty fast. But still, you have a pharmacist that has to come over and at least talk to you and then swipe their card to verify that. It seems like there's a lot of rules and regulations covering the industry that is really keeping it, from modernizing. So Walgreens making an attempt here to use robots for fulfilling prescriptions, I think, is a great move forward. These are not customer-facing robots, right? This is in a micro fulfillment center, so it's all behind the scenes. Now, robots, there's somewhere in here that says they can fill as many prescriptions as, each robot can fill. I'm in the middle of the page here, 300 prescriptions in an hour, which is roughly the same that a typical Walgreens pharmacy can do in a day. So if a machine's doing it in an hour, what a whole staff can do in a day, that is going to move the needle. So I'm kind of optimistic about, the stock. I mean, when you look, I like CVS. I'm an investor in CVS. I do have some Walgreens in there. Remember, it's Walgreens Boots Alliance, which is, again, confusing to me when you have companies merge like that. But when you look at WBA stock, which I'll pull up right here, the one thing you can't argue is that it's cheap. I mean, it's just ridiculously cheap. We'll go to a 6-month chart, which kind of tells all the story. It's at a 7% earnings and a 4%, 7 PE and a 4% dividend yield. I mean, come on, now that's as cheap as you can get. So for you value investors out there, and I had a nice talk with a peer this weekend about value investing and how you need to learn all about it, but it won't necessarily make you money. Here's the issue. This, in my opinion, is a catalyst for it to go higher, but I don't think it is the catalyst to go higher. In other words, it's not going to be enough of a game changer to be able to move. We'll see in earnings. They release earnings tomorrow. Obviously, their earnings aren't going to bake in any of this. This is going to be down the road, but we'll certainly see how their CEO, talks to the changes that they're making, and we'll probably, talk a good game, if you will. So, who's the stock right for? If you're a, purely growth investor, where you're looking for high margins, probably not your thing. If you're in retirement and there's a nice 4% dividend that this kicks off, so about 1% a quarter you're getting paid for holding the stock, and can it go lower? Well, yeah, anything can go lower, but it certainly is at the lower end of where it has been as a stock. So overall, I think it's fine. Not necessarily my cup of tea as an aggressive growth investor, but certainly for a retirement investor, it could fit in your portfolio.
Last, the FDA cleared another round of both Moderna and Pfizer vaccine booster shots for people 50 and older. Will this move the needle on mRNA and PFE stock?
Sure. Yeah. mRNA is Moderna, and Pfizer. PFE is obviously Pfizer stock there. So yeah, another round of boosters. Yay. Another shot, another pull out my vaccine card, which I do still have. Went on a couple of trips. If you're a regular listener to the show, we've been on the road for a while now. So we're back home for a while, which is nice. But yeah, I've carried that in my passport with me everywhere I go, just in case, but I haven't had to pull it out. And outside of being in the airport, hardly anybody's wearing a mask anymore. We'll see if that's smart or not, but at least that's certainly the temperature of the water out there. So I think this could be the first shot where people, if you, like I have, I took obviously the two vaccination shots and the booster shot. I don't have a problem with it. But the fourth one, I will get it because, again, just why not, is my opinion. I know other opinions are out there and I respect that. But I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, you know what, I've had enough of the shots, just like stop. So this one could be one where you have this would be the first booster shot where you might have dumpsters full of these shots as they expire, because people aren't necessarily going to rush out and get them, like pretty sure everything else has for all the other shots. So Pfizer and Moderna, when you look at their particular, is it going to move the stock? That's what you need to look at. I like Pfizer a lot better than Moderna. I have Pfizer in the book. Not a huge position, but certainly it's a good company, ridiculously cheap at 13 earnings, 13 PE right now, and then 3% dividend while you wait. So again, kind of like WBA, and the fact it's not generally going to scream higher unless we have another COVID breakout, but not a bad place to store some money if you're in conservative investor or retirement investor. I don't really like mRNA at all, to be honest. It's a little more expensive. Excuse me. It's been kind of beaten up, I think, rightfully so. 6 PE doesn't pay a dividend, nothing while you wait. I don't know. I think Pfizer is the better of the two, largely because of that dividend and the proven track record. But for both of these, I think they're not, the risk reward scenario is in place. In other words, there's not much risk to the downside because they've been beaten up pretty hard, as you can see from the chart. So there is some reward upside, but not that huge upside that I expect out of a normal like technology stock.
Thank you, everyone, for your questions. Please submit your questions as a comment through social media or directly to our email at vipservices@ankerstarwealth.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to get daily updates. That's all we have for today's show. I'm Allison Ankerstar, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.